Hello everybody, my name's Saturnino, and today our question in public speaking was, how will we address ethics and responsibility pertaining to public speaking? So obviously before we even go speak publicly, we're gonna most likely do our homework. We're gonna write down some notes, try to memorize them, maybe have a couple flashcards and brainstorm and know exactly what we're going to say, probably what we're going to say next, and so forth. But as well, we need to follow the 7 rules, or the 7, pretty much 7 rules of public speaking. So, from 1 to 7, first is honesty. So we got to make sure that we know what we're talking about. We got to make sure we're not making up stuff to make our argument better, to make up the speech better, or to make our audience fall more, so to say, like to make our audience, we can't say like, okay, if, for example, we can't say like, okay, if you take this medicine, guaranteed you'll feel better in 3 days. We kind of have to have evidence, like, we kind of have to say like, okay, after taking this medicine for so many days, you might feel better, and if not, like, we have to have some kind of evidence. Like, we have to be honest about what we're talking about. We can't lie, because even if we're talking about a topic that someone already knows, or someone's already done, or maybe that whoever's reviewing whatever we're talking about or grading us on it already knows all the information, and they'll just sit quietly, or they might interrupt you in the middle and tell you, your information is definitely incorrect. The second is to be open. Use examples. Use examples that are going on in real time, whether it's you or it's anything going on around the world. More than likely this will relate to the audience, and it'll bring the audiences in and listen more, like, oh yeah. Also, the next one is to be generous. So don't offend anybody. Know who your audience is, know who's listening, know the age group, know their knowledge, know that, know how much they know about the subject you're talking about, know how much they care. Don't be telling, don't be telling don't just pay attention to your audience, and before you start speaking, don't be telling, don't be telling the wrong audience the wrong information, or information that doesn't pertain to them at all. Also, to stay balanced, knowing both sides, whether it's positive or negative, and presenting that information whenever you are doing your public speaking. Like, you could have all of your pros, and don't forget the cons, just in case anybody wants to speak up, or if someone's thinking in their mind like, yeah, but if I do that, this is also going to happen. Yeah, make sure you include that, just so that way you're not singled out. As well, we have to represent anything that you find, any findings, any quotes, any statistics, any numbers, any of that. Make sure you cite who did it, because nobody wants to get charged with plagiarism off of a speech. As well, especially if you didn't do the research, and you didn't do the research, and you're representing numbers and results of something. You just make sure you cite the sources all the time. Make sure you cite them. The sixth one is take appropriate risks. If you're in a persuasion, make sure that you know that, yeah, I could persuade whoever I'm speaking to, but as well, I probably might not persuade them. Maybe they might not be in their best interest. Maybe it might. Maybe what I'm saying is just not even to persuade the whole group. Maybe it's just saying to persuade a few. And the final one is engagement. Use open-ended questions. Make sure that you kind of draw your audience in. You don't want them to be spacing out, just listening to you mumbling and jumbling. You want them to be like, okay, yep, I can relate to that. And then ask, like, for example, if you're talking about child abuse and how it can be prevented, maybe throw in a question like, I don't think anybody would want this for their child. Would you want this for your child? Would you like your child to be abused by a teacher or something? You know, stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, those are the 7 main points. That's pretty much. And then when we were using it, yeah.